everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Hiva, and here on my channel I cover recent missing person cases. Before we get started, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to all of you who have subscribed to my channel. I'm currently at around 2,100 subscribers, and I appreciate every single one of you so much. I also want to say that I'm not feeling great, so please excuse my voice if I sound a bit off or stuffy. Today I want to talk about Lateche Norris. Lateche is a beautiful 20-year-old girl who hasn't been heard from since November 5th. The last time she was actually seen was the day prior on November 4th at a 7-Eleven. Lateche seems like a wonderful person. In an interview, her mother described her as a warrior and as an advocate for others. She is constantly helping people and even chose to learn ASL so that she could be more accommodating. Before I get into what we know, I want to say that there are a lot of details in this case, and it can be a little confusing. I want to emphasize that I've gathered a lot of this information from comments on social media made by her mother and her friends, so it may not be in the mainstream media. There is a Facebook group which has a ton of information and that her mother is a part of, and I will link that in the description if you're interested in joining. Just days before she went missing, Lateche left her home in Indiana. She traveled to San Diego, California to be with her boyfriend, 25-year-old Joseph Smith, who goes by Joey. On the morning of November 5th, just a few days after she arrived, Lateche's mother received a concerning phone call from her daughter. Lateche was calling from a stranger's phone and told her mother that her and Joey had gotten into a heated disagreement the previous night. She then told her mother that she was trying to reach Joey and asked for his number. So Joey doesn't have his own phone, but he would call from a friend's phone or from someone nearby's phone. So he had called her mother the previous night on November 4th, and Lateche was asking for the number that he called from. Lateche said that she was going to try to contact Joey and that she would call her mother back. However, she never did. After this, the family obviously tried to reach out to Joey themselves, but there was no answer. In fact, he has been unreachable since then, and the last time that they spoke to him was on November 4th. According to Cheryl, Lateche's mother, this is odd since he was regularly in contact. Like I said, they had just spoken on November 4th. It's even more odd because he appears to still be active on social media. After not hearing from her daughter for several days, Lateche's mother reported her missing. It's completely out of character for her not to be in touch. Unfortunately though, like we see time and time again, authorities didn't really take it seriously. The San Diego PD basically said that things like this happen all the time and that she's an adult. As of the time I last checked, they hadn't even made a social media post about Lateche. It wasn't until November 30th, so yesterday, that they really started taking things more seriously. And I believe that the only reason for that is because of the new attention that her case has received and because of the family's advocacy. However, I'm sure you have a ton of questions, and so do I. Right off the bat, how did Lateche and Joey know each other, and why did they end up in California? According to her mother, Cheryl, the two met after Lateche started training to be a tattoo artist. Joey does the same type of work and also does construction, but they met that way. Joey grew up in California and Lateche dreamed of living there one day, so this past summer the couple moved to Santa Cruz. After spending 2 months in California, Lateche went back to Indiana. I'm not sure if this was a scheduled visit to see her family or if she felt homesick or what. Maybe the two needed a break from one another. I do also know that her 20th birthday was around that time, so maybe she wanted to be home to celebrate with her family and friends. Lateche didn't stay long, however, and she flew back to California during the Halloween weekend. Instead of going back to Santa Cruz though, she joined her boyfriend Joey in San Diego. San Diego is about 7.5 hours from Santa Cruz, and it's not clear why the couple relocated. I have seen it stated that Joey was supposed to start a construction-related job in the recent future, so maybe that's why. However, it seems like the two didn't really have a plan. While Joey made it seem like things would be very nice and that the two would stay on the beach for a few days until he started his new job, that wasn't the case at all. He basically painted this ideal picture of what things would be like when Lateche arrived, and it wasn't that way when she actually did, and that led to many arguments upon her arrival. The two didn't have a place to stay or a car. I've also seen some sources state that Joey was going to rehab and that Lateche didn't necessarily know about that. However, I'm not 100% certain about this. So now that we have a background of how the two know each other and why they were in California, another question I have is why Lateche called her mother from a stranger's phone. She did have her own phone and she had it the day prior on the 4th. So what happened to her phone that she had to borrow someone else's? I did read somewhere that Joey has broken one of her phones in the past, but this hasn't been confirmed. Maybe she lost her phone or someone took it, and that's why she had to borrow someone's phone. It's not clear what happened to her phone. However, in an interview with Pastor Charles Williams, her mother mentioned that Lateche's phone has connected to internet twice. Both times it was for less than 15 minutes, and the last time it connected was a few days ago. I think it's safe to assume that Lateche does not have her phone, or at least have access to it. As we know, she asked to borrow someone else's phone, and also, despite connecting to the internet, none of the messages from her family or friends have been opened. In terms of theories as to what potentially happened, I think there are several possibilities. The first involves Joey potentially being involved. While Lateche obviously loved this man enough to move across the country for him, they didn't necessarily have the best, most stable relationship. In fact, I'm going to insert a screenshot that shows charges that resulted from an incident in September. I also know that Joey has a record and was facing time. Maybe Lateche was able to reach him that morning and the two potentially met up and another altercation occurred. Like I said, he has been unreachable and unresponsive to her family since she went missing, so maybe the answers lie with him. Another possibility involves the stranger whose phone she used. According to Lateche's mother, it was a man that she borrowed the phone from. Although her mother called the phone back and the stranger told her that he doesn't know where Lateche is, maybe he knows more than he's letting on. Hopefully there are cameras wherever they were calling from so investigators can determine whether Lateche did end up meeting with Joey or if something happened with the man that she borrowed the phone from or someone else. The third possibility is that Joey and the man who lent her the phone have nothing to do with it. In fact, there's a possibility that Joey himself is also missing. However, based on his social media activity, I don't think that's the case. Maybe she was unable to reach Joey, so she went to search for him. As we know, they didn't have a place to stay, so she would just have to search and wander around the streets. Maybe something happened then. It's also possible that she's lost or is at one of the many homeless camps or shelters in the area. However, it's been over 3 weeks and her family is in the area searching. Of course, it's possible that Lateche doesn't want to be found and that she intentionally left. However, personally, I don't think this is the case. If it were, I don't think that she would have called her mother in the first place. You can also tell that her and her mother have a great relationship just based on the way that Cheryl speaks about her, so I don't think that she would leave without saying anything. Lateche's mother spent Thanksgiving searching for her daughter and is basically doing everything she can to raise awareness. Her family and friends are desperate for answers. Please be on the lookout if you're in the area and keep Lateche and her family in your thoughts. Lateche is 5'8" and weighs 160 pounds. She has dark brown hair and brown eyes. On the day she was last seen at the 7-Eleven on Park Boulevard, Lateche was wearing black leggings, a black sweatshirt, and white tennis shoes. She was also carrying a black and white checkered backpack. If you have any information about her whereabouts, please call the number in the description below. That's all I have for this case. Thank you so much for watching and for sharing Lateche's story, and I'll see you in my next one.